Between this, Deadpool 2, and Infinity War, this is really turning into the year of Josh Brolin.
You have no reason to trust me. But trusting me is how you're gonna survive.
Good luck. Luck doesn't live on this side of the border.
Hello there everybody, it's me, the Canadian Movie Buff, with a review of Sicario, Day of the Soldado. Day of the Soldado is a sequel spin-off. They don't really clarify where in the timeline it takes place, but it's called Sicario, and it's not the one from 2015, so it's a different movie. CIA agent Matt Graver is investigating the cartel to see if they've been smuggling in terrorists, and he enlists the help of Alejandro Gilick to start a war within the cartels, while also helping Alejandro continue his quest of revenge. The first Sicario was a critical hit that found modest box office success. With a budget of $50 million and a worldwide total of $90 million, it would be safe to assume that they would follow it up with a sequel. Then Taylor Sheridan announced that he had a whole trilogy of Sicario movies planned, and that the movies would eventually cross over with Hell or High Water at some point. So, here we are, the next chapter. With a new director and without one of its stars, the question isn't so much can it top the original, but can it be just as good? The main selling point of this movie was that it was the continuation of Alejandro Gilick's story, while Matt Graver was also along for the ride. I liked how they gave us a more in-depth look at their side of the story. In the first movie, Emily Blunt's character was the window to that world. So here you get to step inside the minds of these two men and see how they operate. A main concern that a lot of people had going into this movie was that it was going to be a dumb action blockbuster. Well, rest assured that this is not the case. But if you are looking for some adrenaline-pumping action, then this movie offers plenty. It's very intense and close-knitted, and it's not overly brutalized. Much like the first one, it has a very realistic approach to how it handles the violence. When somebody gets killed in an action sequence, you're like, that is a dead person right there. But it wasn't like guns blazing, blood and guts everywhere. It's more like, bang, ooh, that guy is dead now. I have to give this movie a lot of credit in the way it handles some touchy issues, mainly illegal immigration and terrorism in the United States. There's no political bias whatsoever, although some may argue that there is some. Personally, I thought they handled it really well. They didn't try to explain too much of the politics surrounding it, but rather it was like, this is the world of the movie, and it just so happens to relate very strongly to our world. Now, while I love Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro's acting, and I love the characters that they were portraying, I will admit that the absence of Emily Blunt and director Dennis Villeneuve didn't go unnoticed. Let's start with the director. Prisoners, Arrival, the first Sicario, and even more recently Blade Runner 2049. He's definitely a director that you can say appreciates visuals. And with his absence, the movie kind of suffers cinematography-wise. It's decently shot, but nothing really stands out. The way this movie shot feels less like a theatrical movie and more like an extended episode of a crime thriller on cable TV. It just felt very generic. The absence of Emily Blunt is probably the most damaging because without her, we've essentially lost a central character. Here you have two men that are on opposite sides of the law, yet they're combined in their single idea that they're willing to do anything to get the job done. Taking away Emily Blunt is sort of like removing the middleman of this situation. What made the first one so special is that you had someone who saw the world in black and white as opposed to the two men who see it in different shades of gray. Part of what makes Sicario great is watching that line between lawful and unlawful blurred. Take that away and you've lost a pillar of the movie. It tries to make up for itself by introducing two main characters who both originate from Mexico. One is the daughter of the cartel, but she's mainly used as a MacGuffin for the majority of the movie. And the second one is this kid who lives by the border and his cousin is getting him initiated into this gang. And I guess what he was trying to do here was show how some tough situations may persuade kids living near the border to join gangs. The writing never really clarifies anything. It tried to do what the first movie did, which was have that plot line with the corrupt cop, but they also tried to use these side characters as a pillar for this movie and the next one. I can't help but wonder if there was more material for these characters, but Sheridan decided to cut it out, or if he had to cut it out because it was driving up the runtime. Much like the first Sicario, Day of the Soldado is a gritty and intense crime thriller that puts us in a world where there are no good guys, just people who are trying to be less evil than who they're fighting. it takes two interesting characters and expands their arc without putting their main story on the back burner. Brolin and Del Toro's performances are great, the action is intense as ever, and it brings elements from today's world through an unbiased lens. However, the cinematography isn't as great, the writing's a bit all over the place, and without Emily Blunt, it doesn't feel as if the audience is in that world, rather they're just watching it play out. It was definitely a sequel that was made because Taylor Sheridan wanted to tell a story, and the fact that he announced this movie as well as a third one and a potential crossover so soon after the first one came out, it's safe to assume this sequel came out of passion, not out of money. And I will say that Sicario is an interesting movie that's worth seeing at least once in theaters. Alright, that's my review of Sicario, Day of the Soldado. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Leave your answer by commenting down below. Subscribe and hit the bell icon if you're new here. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And as always, this is the Canadian Movie Buff saying I hope you had a fantastic weekend at the movies. See ya!